everyone. Maria Morales with LowKick MMA. And today I am joined by none other than the number 2 featherweight in Bellator, Manny Sanchez. Manny, how are you today?
Excellent. How about yourself? Maria
Good.
Morales. You get Miles Morales a lot, then? I'm sorry. You get that
No,
a
no,
lot.
listen, it's so hilarious because I'm Puerto Rican and my
Oh
son.
my God. Yes.
Yeah,
It's Miles
yeah,
Morales'
exactly.
sister.
Exactly. And
Okay.
my kids are biracial, they're Puerto Rican and black. So like all the boys are like, yo, I'm
Wow.
Miles Morales. So
Yep.
it's
Wow.
awesome.
Wow. That's awesome. Nope. Yep. We're in good company then. Yep. You know what's up.
No, listen, you got to be careful because we can sit here and just talk Marvel and Spider-Man like this whole interview. Like I'm the one for it, all right?
All right. We're all for it then. Yep. Wow. Yep.
Awesome. So Manny, getting started, this is a pretty big fight coming up for you. I mean, it's technically less than 10 days at this point, right? Like it's right around the corner. Um, and I want to ask you first and foremost, coming off of fighting for the title, now this is a situation where you're fighting another ranked opponent. What, if anything, did you do differently to prepare for this fight?
So for those who don't know, I'm also a kids coach at my academy, Rufus Sport
Hmm.
Mixed Martial Arts. And I'm not putting blame on that at all of what just happened in my recent bout. Coming off a loss, it's painful and it sucks. But I did have a lot outside of my preparation for the fight. Given COVID and stuff opening back up, we had so many more kids tournaments, and
Hmm.
so I'm involved in their jujitsu, their MMA, and I don't half-ass anything. When I go all in, and it's kids too, so they love what they do, right? They're kids,
Hmm.
and our gym isn't, it's a world class gym. So it's not cheap by any means. So the parents as well too, they want to know, especially we got our salesman telling them, yeah, look at who your kid's coach is a world class fighter and blah blah blah. And if I don't do my job well then bad rep for myself and the company. So
Right.
I invest a lot, into the kids, and I didn't take a break.
Mm.
And so now, normally I always did that before though. I always took breaks before, but I was training and sparring with the kids and helping them with all their tournaments and everything that they had coming up as well too. And I just didn't get as much rest and probably more work as well too. I feel like that's one thing I could admit. Even more training. There's always I'm that type of person who's all about that life, hard work, dedication, and overtime. And now, compared to now, how I feel like in the preparation for this fight, even going back to this last one, I'm like, wow, I definitely feel like I worked harder for this one than I did for the last one, and that doesn't sit well with me. So knowing that I had the liberty to be like, hey, tell the boss, hey, I gotta take a break off of training. I let my kids know that, yeah, Coach Manny's gonna be taking a break. That as me being a leader, I'm not creating followers, I'm creating more leaders. So I need all these
Right.
older kids to step up, help the coaches, help the younger kids. You guys want to be promoted, leveled up, right? And you guys want to be great martial artists as well too. Well, this is how you learn and this is how you make it happen. So when I come back to teaching after my fight, if I get a bad report, y'all in trouble. So I haven't, yeah, I had to put the foot down, a little bit. But me being able to rest now and train more as well too, I'm excited to showcase what I really can do now. So everything in the gym is taken care of, we all good, and everything in my training has been able to take care of is all good. So more training, more rest, and you're going to see a much more dangerous Matador next Saturday.
Well, I mean, listen, I think that first and foremost, thank you for kind of giving us that insight because I think that a lot of times fans don't realize how much, fighters do outside of just training to fight. And the fact that you're out here and you're really trying to be a great coach for these kids and teach them those leadership skills, I think is amazing. So, obviously the results from the last fight were unfortunate, but kudos to you for the work that you're doing because we need more people out there doing that kind of work.
Thank you. And that's how I feel, and so, and I will absolutely, after the fight, when I don't have a fight coming up, of course, all in, helping the kids, creating leaders, having fun. I tell them, like, just how we do after every fight too, pizza party, celebrate the victory, all of us together, because I thank them. I'll
Mhm.
spar with them. I'll roll with them. And teaching them, wrestling with them, and I'm always like, hey man, you guys are helping me. We're helping each other. We can't train by ourselves. I don't show up
Right.
here and want to put triangles and arm bars on just the empty mat. Yeah, we need other partners to help us get better. So I'm thankful for this team that we have here. I tell her that that's our culture, and that's how we bring it up, because these kids, as much as they love wrestling and jiu-jitsu and competing in those things, they love MMA. It's Rufus Sport
Mhm.
MMA Academy, and they want to be MMA fighters. They see all the other MMA champions and fighters and people who we've had come through and do pancration in MMA. That these kids, that's what they want too. They see their coach on TV, and that's where they want to be.
But I mean, and to that point, I think it's pretty dope because between you, between Anthony, between Sergio, like you see it on your social media. You guys aren't just out here like, hey, look at me. Like you're always giving the kids like an opportunity to be seen and talking about what you're doing. So I just, again, kudos to you. I think that it's just so, so important. And it's really good to hear that you're giving back in that way. Now, I kind of want to move on a bit because one of the things that you touched on was the fact that you really did feel like you trained so much harder for this upcoming fight. So I have to ask you, I mean, obviously you're going up against Mads Burnell. He's an excellent fighter as well. Was there anything specifically in this camp that you focused on to prepare for this fight? And anything that might have been a little bit different? I mean, obviously, I know you can't tell me what you're going to do because,
Oh,
the
I'll tell you
secret
what I'm
sauce
gonna
is the
do.
secret sauce.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out. Yeah, it's go out and put on the show and hunt in the first or second round TKO.
Wow. All right. So you're just like the hell with it. I'm not trying to get to a decision. I'm not trying to go all three. You're just in there trying to get it done.
Absolutely, because of an unfortunate my last bout not going my way, but having that experience and been twice now with that level of caliber of a fighter in
Mm-hmm.
Patricio Pitbull, I know it's only made me so much more dangerous. And I'm not angry. I'm not like hating myself or hating anything like about it. I again, it's just using that as motivation and as fuel, because I know I'm like, wow, okay, I see what it takes. I see how it is, and now I know
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I need to do, not just in my training in the physical, but also in the mental,
Right.
and in every aspect, every area of my life as well too. To be like, all right, yep, this is what go out and dominate, and I'm hunting the TKO, but he gives me his neck or anything else too. I'd be happy with the submission as well too. But I'm definitely going out for the stoppage.
Well, listen, I love it because I love fights that go all four or excuse me, 3 or 5 rounds, but who doesn't like a nice stoppage, right? That
Absolutely.
that said though, it's always, in my opinion, kind of a particular place to be because sometimes some fighters will get a little overzealous in hunting that finish and will take some aspects of their opponent for granted, as if they're the only ones in there. So I have to ask you, is there anything about Burnell that you are concerned about, or do you think could put you in a bit of danger in trying to get that stoppage?
Yeah, just not letting him have his way. So in
Mhm.
those areas that I do know where he would want me, because I'm a realist, I'm a human, and obviously it just happened. I
Mhm.
know where guys would want to stop me, want to try to continue to finish me, and I've
Mhm.
always known that. And now having it actually happened, like, it's again only made me a much more cerebral fighter, dangerous fighter, wiser fighter, and uh, I know that I can stop Patricio Pitbull too. That's what sucks. It's just a game of chess, and
Right.
he just got me in checkmate before I could get him. And when someone has that edge in a certain area or whatever, you just can't give them the chance, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So
Mhm.
that's how I know not getting too carried away, or over committing on wanting, or so hungry to want to get the stoppage. Let the fight happen and it'll come, and on top of that, me showcasing all my weapons. Sometimes,
Mm.
and I'm talking about in every area too. Sometimes I got really content with just striking somebody, and I'm like, it's good, all right. If I was just dominating with the striking, great. But when it comes to it, yeah, I want to show that I'm dominant in every area. That there's no area that you're better than me at. I'm a
Mhm.
better fighter in every aspect of the game, and that's, if a fight does go the distance, that's something that I'd love to showcase.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that that's such an important point because, you know, fighters get known for doing a thing, right? You become a striker, you become a submission artist. And, looking at what you've at the portfolio of work that you've put together, that whole body of work, you really have tried to, be really well rounded. So I think that's a really great point to say that going into this, you want to keep that up. You want to not just focus on one thing. All that said, though, I have to ask because obviously you're the number two ranked person in this division. A win here would obviously continue to secure that ranking. If you win, what is next for Manny Sanchez?
Well, when I win, so after I go out and take
There
out
you
Mads
go.
Burnell, uh, I'd love to fight whoever is not victorious in the main event. So
Okay.
either Patricio, Pitbull, or AJ McKee. And if not, if you never know what's going to happen with that. They might want a rematch with one another. They both of them might move up, no matter
Hmm.
win, lose, or draw for either of them. Who knows what's going to happen? So even if that's not on the table, me getting a victory over Mads Burnell, anyone else on the list, I was just told in an earlier interview that Adam Borix and JJ Wilson are going to lock horns. So,
Hmm.
and I guess that's going to be a title eliminator, and good for them. That's fine. I know Bellator is, they want someone else in the title picture, and that's how you have to promote these other fighters as well too. So uh, when you look at other big names, well, we got a new guy on the ranking system. There's this undefeated cat, Justin Gonzalez, who just got a win over
Hmm.
Taiwan Claxton. You got Aaron Pico. I've already gone twice with Daniel Weichel, so that's not something that really interests me. Or maybe whoever is not victorious out of Adam Borix and JJ Wilson, I'd take one of them too. So I just want to go out and fight everyone on the list, honestly. So you're a Marvel nerd. How about Pokemon? Like, you got to catch them all. You want to be a Pokemon master, you got to catch them all. So I want to catch them all. I want to have a victory over all of them.
Awesome, awesome. And so what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, is that you'd love to get the winner of Pitbull McKee, but also you're not just going to sit around and wait. Like you intend to be active. You'll fight, whatever fight is available for you. If it's a situation where they decide that they do want a rematch. Now, is that a fair statement to make?
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever is victorious, whoever's not victorious, or anyone else on the list too. To me, I just gotta. They give me the name, the date. All right, let's do it. Yeah, Captain. Like, let's get to work. I'm someone who's always just year round in the gym. I'm so fortunate and blessed and grateful that I've had my health through all these years. That I've been able to fight how I do, to have all, you see all these fights, like, all, whether they went my way
Hmm.
or not. I still was a guy who's very, very quickly back in the gym, and I'm grateful for that. And so knowing that I work as hard as I do, I'm like, man, yeah, I just want to just prove that I'm the best. Just prove that, I how bad I want it, how hungry I am. So no one is hungrier than me. No one's outworking me, and
Hmm.
that's just what I want to. I want to go and get what's mine, what I've worked so hard for. So I'm trusting and enjoying the process, and sooner or later, I'd have to fight any of these guys anyways,
Right.
whether they work their way up or something else happens, whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, whatever, whatever comes, I'm all open for. But yeah, most definitely. I mean, if I could fight 2 or 3 more times by the end of this year, having to wait to, April, and obviously with everything that happened at the Grand Prix and my fight
Mhm.
being canceled. So you think about 2020, I
Right.
lost time. I'm young still. I'm thankful for that, but I'm not 23 though. So it's
Right.
I'm young, but I'm young, but I'm not that young. And I know I'm strong and I'm in my prime, but still we got to make up for lost time. And that's
Exactly.
that's that's what I'd love to do too, get a victory over Mads Burnell. And if I'd love to fight in Texas now that
Okay.
Bellator is back on the road. I'm hoping for, they got, so we got California and now we go to Texas. So I'm hoping if they do Texas in September, that's, you know what I mean. I'd love to be on that card if there is one there. I don't know what their plans are, what's going to
That
happen,
would
but we
be
thought,
insane, though.
yeah,
That would be
yeah.
insane.
I'm no stranger to taking short notice fights. I go back a few years ago. I had 5 fights in a year, and that's how I made my name for myself in Bellator and got
Mhm.
myself up to a new pay scale and being I wouldn't say we didn't have rankings then, but a household name and
Right.
being one of the top guys. But that's because I needed to fight frequently. I needed to make a name for myself, and that's how I did it. Being ready to fight and the ability to say yes, 2 weeks notice, 3 months notice, or 1 week notice. All right, let's do it. Like
Right.
the ability to say yes, and those are the fights that change your life. That you have that ability
Absolutely.
to, not just financially, but just everything. Like, wow, this guy, kind of like when you think of like Donald Cerrone. I mean, how else do you?
Mhm.
There's no way you know, get that many fights and have the most fights in the UFC compared to anyone else, and just being a legend like that and making
Right.
that kind of money too, providing for yourself and your family. You got to go out and hungry to win, hungry to dominate.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy that you answered the easy questions so eloquently, because now we have to get into the hard questions.
All right,
And
let's hear it.
so, yeah, so first hard question. I loved a picture that I saw of you on Instagram back in January. You were running with your dog and you had the Marvel Scully on, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is my type of guy right here. But I have to
Oh.
ask you, man, how with all of the training and preparing, have you been able to keep up with everything that's going on with like the shows and the movies getting ready to come out? How much of your Marvel love has been put on hold for training?
Oh, a lot of them. I haven't seen Black Widow yet. I've been wanting to go see it and just catch a $5 movie Tuesday at a certain movie theater that we go. Instead of like waiting. I didn't know maybe it'd be packed. People wanting to go and back to the movies again. I saw Mortal Kombat when it came out, so that was awesome.
Yeah,
I
Mortal
liked it.
Kombat was dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. I was like, wow, yeah. And what I liked most, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but it brought a lot of different kind of clips and stories from all
Hmm.
the video games. So I'm like, man, dude, yes, it feels like I'm playing the video game watching this movie right now. Like I know, okay, like, and even rewatching it when I do, I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, it's not like, for those who don't know, yeah, you're not going to know about it if you never played any of the games.
Right.
And you had to play like all the games to know the characters. And like the same thing with Marvel, right? You can't
Yep.
just watch one movie and you like, wow, this is lame. Well, you obviously didn't watch any of the other Avenger movies or Marvel movies previous to know or know anything about the world, like in the Marvel universe, to get this, do you? Like, so that's why you're not interested in it. And well, I'm not big, at least like on the shows. I watched a little bit of WandaVision and I just was like, I'm not into it. I heard Loki's really good. I haven't
Loki is
seen any.
amazing.
That's
Listen,
it.
after you go out here and get this win, I need you to just binge all 6 episodes of Loki. It's amazing.
Really? All right. Well, good. Maybe I'll do that next week then. While I'm quarantined and just, cutting weight, I'll just watch Loki while I'm just chilling with my PS4, in my hotel room and stuff. Uh, but I haven't seen. I know I heard as well too. Captain America and the Winter Soldier, right? Or that's
Yeah, yeah.
something
It
like that. Yeah.
Well, no, they changed the name because it started
Uh,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and by the
okay.
end, it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, that
Mm.
one's that one's definitely really good. So see, I'm giving you a homework assignment. You
Nice.
gotta watch all of this stuff while you're quarantined in the room and you have nothing but time on your hands.
I do. Just gonna be stretching, foam rolling, praying, meditating, and just playing games and just chilling. Because, I mean, yeah, well, we're on the road, but it doesn't mean, hey, let's go sightsee in LA. Besides,
Right.
that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to obviously, do my thing. Interviews, pictures, whatever. Cut weight, make the weight. Let's go out, whip some ass, get paid, go home, enjoy some pizza. But while I'm there, stretching, meditating, praying, getting myself fight ready. Of course, yeah, I'll dwell in some LowKick and some Falcon and Winter Soldier then, because
Yeah.
I didn't really catch any of that, but I definitely always watch the movies, and even to
Yeah.
this
No,
day I
no, for
still always
sure.
rewatch the movies. Yeah, got to.
All right. Well, last question, and you if there was anything like a softball pitch, you just gave it to me because you said you're going to be, obviously you're going to be in California. You're not really going to be able to sightsee. You're there to get something done, but anyone that knows anything about combat sports, be it MMA, wrestling, what have you, knows how terrible it is to have to go through fight week and go through that weight cut. So, considering that you're going to be in California, is there like a go-to food that you absolutely have to have before you plunge into the full weight cutting process?
Um, I kind of already do, thankfully. So my girlfriend's my nutritionist, and it's just pretty much sushi. Still very healthy. So fish and
Okay.
rice, right? Yeah, and especially even now with like the weight cut process, I just don't go too crazy on like the other more exotic rolls that have like all the spicy mayo and eel sauce or
Hmm.
stuff like that, and all the other crazy stuff on it. I just uh, as I've gotten older too, and the more I do it, since I do it pretty frequently, just the simple spicy tuna, spicy salmon, spicy yellowtail, or just sashimi, and just
Hmm.
the good fat and nutrients that I get from that. I just it just that's what fuels a fighter. It's like nothing better than that. It's like that's for my feel like in those cultures, anytime I go to an Asian restaurant, Japanese, Korean, South Korean, Taiwanese, Laos, Chinese, anything, like as long as it's not too cooked in MSG or anything that they have,
Hmm.
it's like a family owned restaurant having their thing. Cause that's where, me or my, anyone where we go to around here, or we have is local. I get the best kind of, ingredients,
Right.
and it's amazing food. And so I know I'm like, wow, I'm getting real food. Likewise with Mexican, and that I'll obviously can only enjoy till after the fight, because whether how they cook it or not too, still it's like you're not just going to want to eat one taco and then, like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah,
No,
I want to
there's
eat the
no
whole
way.
cow. So like,
Exactly.
yeah.
There's no way that you go to LA and say, I'm going to eat one taco. Like,
Yeah, I know. You go to
ever. It's
taco truck,
impossible.
get 10. Yeah, right. 10. And then
Exactly.
the beans and
Exactly.
rice and everything else too. Yeah. So now I'm just excited, just can't wait to go out and obviously, of course, accomplish the mission, and yeah, eat some good food out there.
Awesome. Well, Manny, I never wish fighters good luck. I think that that's an insult to all of the hard work that you guys do because your successes come from all of the work that you put in. So, with that, I hope that all of your preparations for this fight pay off and you get your hand raised at Bellator 263. So, thank
Thank you
you
very much. I
so
appreciate
much for your
that.
time, everyone.
Awesome.
Manny Sanchez, thanks again.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.